welcome to Ops on Cloud. In this specific video, right, let's try to discuss about workflow event. So what is workflow event? You have a workflow which you have already created in GitHub Actions and you want to trigger that workflow based on a specific condition. What might be that condition, right? So when you push a code or when you raise a pull request, right, or when you have scheduled it and you want to run that specific workflow on a specific time, right? So to achieve this, there is a concept called as workflow events. So workflow events is there, right? Broadly, we are categorizing that into three parts. One is repository specific events, and the other one is manual triggers, and the third one is schedule. So in repository specific events, you have push event, issues are there, pull request is there, fork and pull request review, all these things are there. So what is push or what is issue, what is pull request? See, if you see here, right, if you check here, you have on push. So what you are trying to tell GitHub Actions is, when I do any push in this specific repository, then you trigger this specific workflow event. This specific workflow. And similarly, let's assume if instead of push, there is pull request. When I raise a pull request or to a specific branch, or when I raise a pull request, you trigger this specific workflow. That is what you are trying to tell. Okay, to achieve this, you are creating repository events. Okay, similarly, manual triggers. So let's assume you have developed a code on your feature branch and you want to test it out quickly. So if you test it on your local, it might take us some time, and at that point of time you can't actually use your system. So then you have a manual pipeline which has already been created. So all you have to do is go there and provide your feature branch as a input, and then trigger that specific pipeline. So for such kind of actions, right, you can go with manual triggers. And then you have scheduled, you have a nightly job where on every day, at the end of the day, automatically a nightly job should be triggered, which will do the testing and make sure that on that specific day, whatever the code that has been merged is fine, right? To create such kind of workflows, you need scheduled events. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so for scheduled event, right, if you see here, this is a, I mean, like, website called crontab dot cronhub.io. I will copy paste that URL in the video description. You can go and use it. See, so for example, I have something called as like zero space zero hashtag hashtag hashtag, which means it should trigger at for every 12 a.m., right? So if I want to make it for every 5 minutes, so then I can, sorry, I can just make it like hashtag. Okay, and then this should be, I think it is hashtag divided by 5. So basically now this triggers for every 5 minutes. So if you see the cron expression, it's like this. It is minutes. The first part is minutes, which is 0 to 59, and the second part is hours, 0 to 23, and the third one is day of a month, 1 to 31, and month, 1 to 12, and then day of a week. Okay, that is what which we are trying to denote here. Okay, so my suggestion is, I mean, like, when I started my career, like, we used to go and check in these websites to see like how it works, and we used to test it out. But now I don't think so you guys should do the same thing. You can use chat gpt. You can basically give instructions there, like, give me a cron expression to trigger at 12 a.m. Okay, so now what happens is, it will give you a cron expression. All you have to do is come here, use this website just for validation, just to verify whether it has given as expected. So basically you will be able to see here every 5 minutes, or if you give 00, it will be like 12 a.m. So all you have to do is just verify that, and it should be more than enough. Okay, um, and the second most important link is here. See, this is the official GitHub, I mean, like, link. So I mean, like, the whatever the events that we triggered, right? Sorry, we discussed, right? So they are like most frequently used events here. Push, pull request. Push and pull request is what you use widely, okay, and schedule. But if you see here, there are some additional workflow events as well. Again, you don't have to go and memorize each and everything. It's not really necessary. My suggestion is just look into it so that you know, I mean, like as a DevOps engineer, you will be aware, okay, so these are the events which is already present, just in case if anything comes up that you will have to use, for example, a watch event or something like that. Okay, so then you can simply come to this specific link and you can you use it within your pipeline, or else you can also use ChatGPT for, especially for such kind of questions and answers, right? In ChatGPT, it does pretty well. The AI models does pretty well. You can use it and you can come here, verify it, and then use it in your actual pipeline. But just make sure that you will verify it before actually pushing your code or changes to your remote repositories. Okay, don't simply blindly copy paste and do it. Okay, so this is one more link. Okay, so in the upcoming session, right, we will try to focus on doing the hands-on implementation of events. Let's start with our hands-on session. So in the previous lecture, I think I've given like 01 building blocks.yaml. I'll just try to rename it to 02 so that it would be easy for you guys to handle when you are practicing it. Rename it to 02 and then let's do ls. Perfect. cd ls hyphen la. Sorry, ls hyphen la cd dot github. We have workflows here. Yeah. Okay. So basically in events, right, what is the first attribute that we are supposed to pass? One is name. This is the name. And for this workflow, I'm going to give 02 space hyphen and this events. Okay. And then what else we need? We need on. So on what action I'm supposed to, trigger. So first I'll just explain, first I will just explain a simple one, and then we'll try to go for other events as well that we discussed. Push. Okay. So the moment I give push, so it will be considered. So basically what it means, so when I push this specific workflow, this specific when I do any push action, so this specific workflow should trigger. So now what else we have? Jobs. Under jobs, I will try to echo, and it will runs on Ubuntu. If you remember, we installed the VS Code extension, which is related to GitHub Actions. So because of that extension only, we are getting this auto suggestion. Okay. Steps, and the steps we need a name and we need to run something. So name, this will be trigger message. Trigger message. Okay. And then what else we need? We need to run command. For run, what I'm supposed to do? Echo. Just try to add triggered by event. So for this, what is the, so in GitHub there is something, GitHub action, there is something called as context. Context in the sense they are like the inbuilt methods or inbuilt variables within GitHub actions. Okay, so for example, now I need to know on what action basically we are triggering this specific workflow. So now there is a context for that. Okay, so basically you can define that in double flower brackets like this. here GitHub dot. So what is the context here? This is an event. So we need to know the event name. Event name. Okay. And then that's it. So now what we will do is we will try to push this one. Git status. Okay. So I'll just add git add dot, and now git commit hyphen m. With commit message it is 02 hyphen event space running push event. Git push. Okay. So let's go to our workflows and see. Okay. Actions. Say 02 push event is triggered. You see, right? It has printed a message. Echo triggered by event push. Do you see? This is what we had echo triggered by event github.event name. So basically it has captured the actual event, which is push. So basically this is working fine. So now let's try to explore other workflows as well. All right. So other events, sorry, not workflows. So what are the other events that we discussed? One is push, and another one is pull request. So we can't actually write it like this directly. So I mean, what there are like different ways to write it, right? So since it is YAML, so basically we can either create it like push or something. Okay, sorry, array. So like this push and hyphen pull request question. Okay, and then what else is there? Schedule. Okay, like this we can add it in YAML. But the recommended way, usually what we do in any organization is we will try to keep it like this. Push. Okay, and then you have a pull request, and then you have schedule. The reason behind that is, see, for schedule you need to create cron expressions, all these things. Okay, so to do such kind of activities, right, it becomes much more easier when you follow this syntax. Okay, schedule, and under schedule, what is the schedule that we are planning to give? Cron. Under cron, we are supposed to define the schedule. So in this case, I want to run this specific job for every 5 minutes. Okay, so therefore what I'll do is * star 5. This just now actually we discussed this one, right? Strict. How many uh, hash tricks should be there? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then we have this workflow. See, one more thing what we discussed is about manual triggers. All right. So for manual trigger in GitHub Action, there is something called as workflow dispatch. Workflow dispatch. When you add this, right, automatically you will get an option in the GitHub Action workflow user interface. Okay, wherein you will be able to go with the manual trigger. So basically you can go there and you can run. Okay, that is the benefit. So now what we will do is what we will do is now let's try to push this code and test. I think I have not yet saved it. Let me save this file. Git add dot and controller commit. Okay, run all events. Okay, git push. Okay, perfect. So now we have pushed it. Let's see. Come to actions 0 to run all events. So now this would have triggered by an event called push, right? This is a push event. So now let's try to explore other events as well, right? Let's come to actions, okay, and come here, okay. So you have the so basically what we will do is we'll try to go and see this is the push event which has been triggered. So now what we will do is we'll try to go and create a pull request. Okay. So to create a pull request, we will create a feature branch from this specific branch. Okay. New branch like test hyphen sorry test hyphen pull hyphen quest hyphen event. So I'll create a new branch here. Okay. So and then what I'll do is I will go ahead and raise a pull request. New pull request from test pull request event branch to this branch. Oh, sorry. So see now basically there is no changes here. So let me add some small changes in the test pull request branch and then let's try to raise a event. I mean like a pull request. So for that what we can do is I'll go here, edit this file and you have triggered a just add one more thing called as event and then I will commit these changes. Okay. No. Again, I'm sorry. I am there in main branch. I should have been in feature branch. Okay. Event. And now let's commit our changes. Okay. So now we will go and raise a pull request. It should work. Compare and pull request. Okay. From this branch to this branch. Let's add a pull request comment. For PR. Okay. Let me create a pull request now and see what happens. I have created a pull request. Okay. It's able to do, see, do you see here? So now there is a pull request pipeline which is there in queue. Show all checks. You have pull request pipeline. Create here and then triggers. All you have to do is just come to trigger message here. And do you see? This trigger is created by an event pull request event. Okay, so that is also working fine. This is how basically pull request pipelines will work. Okay, so once we do all these things, right, what else we have? Okay, we need to try one workflow event, right? Workflow event, like see how it works. That is also an important thing. Let's come here, GitHub Actions. So if you come to this user interface, right, do you see here under actions, you have basically now earlier you are not able to see this. Okay. So this is for workflow dispatcher event. This is called like a workflow event. Okay. You will get a manual UI. So I can select the branch name from which branch I want to run it. So in my case, I'll run it from main branch and I'll run this workflow. So this is what workflow event looks like. Okay. Do you see it? So it has triggered a pipeline basically in GitHub Actions. So if you come here, it has already triggered and completed. See, the trigger message is there, right? Triggered by a workflow dispatch event. Okay. So similarly, let's go to the last one, which is scheduled event. Scheduled event actually it takes 5 minutes because we have given the schedule as 5 minutes. Okay. So if we have passed that 5 minutes, right, then ideally we will have. I hope you got the concept here. All right. Let's meet in the next video. So if you like these efforts in building knowledge within the community, so please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So signing off for now. Bye bye.